The Love Boat will continue in a moment.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. If you're here at Word Balloon, it's because you like comics, creators, conversation, pop culture subjects. Would you consider joining the League of Word Balloon Listeners? Patreon.com/wordballoon. For just $3 a month or more, you'll get exclusive access to the Word Balloon e-magazine, featuring transcriptions of some of my best conversations. When you subscribe, you'll also be part of the Word Balloon Book Club, where Brian Michael Bendis and I will pick a comic every month to review and discuss live with the League on this show. Join the League today, patreon.com/wordballoon. Thank you always for your support, League of Word Balloon listeners. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Time for Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Suttriss-Hill, Phillip Kennedy Johnson joining me because he's got some great stuff happening in 3 of his books. And also, he's coming to Chicago, Chicagoland, I suppose, suburban Chicago, doing some really cool stuff with one of the local high schools. And I'm all about the after-school programs, Phillip. So I'm really glad you're coming in and helping them out.
Oh, man, me too. Good to see you, Professor, always.
WarriorCon is going to be a convention this coming Saturday at Maine West High School in Des Plaines. And but before that, even on Friday, given your musical background and stuff, you're going to hang out with the music students on Friday, right?
Yeah, man. I got a really cool invitation from a guy named Bernie Gerstmeyer, who is the band director there. And he also works at a comic shop. I'm not sure if he works there, if he's a volunteer, he's somehow involved. And he's like he's the POC for for WarriorCon. And he reached out to me about doing the show, but also about working with his kids. Because for those who don't know, I'm a musician as well. I just retired from one of the military bands in the Capitol, and he asked if I would come work with his brass students Friday afternoon before the show. So it's this whole weekend. So the show is just one day, but I'm going to go there on Friday. They're picking me up. I'm going to go and actually work with their English students. I'm going to go give a thing on writing and on comics.
Fantastic.
During the school day. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. Apparently there's some aspiring writers and just some comic fans that want to talk. Yeah. So I'm going to go and work with the kids during the school day. After that, I'll work with the musicians there. And then the next day I'll do the show and then the signing on Sunday. So it's going to be a really awesome weekend. So all my creative worlds kind of colliding over the course of 3 days.
Anytime you come to town, I'm psyched to see you. And
yes, dude, I love that town, and it's always a pleasure to see you, man. I'm looking forward to getting to hang out in person for a change.
Absolutely, and for people who can't make it to WarriorCon, I certainly hope you do, because again, it's only $5 at the door, and the proceeds for WarriorCon go to support Maine West's after-school programs, which is a wonderful cause. But also on Sunday, Phillip is going to be in Skokie, Illinois, at Ayat Comics, Art and Franco's store. In downtown Skokie, and doing a signing there as well. So great opportunities for if you're in the area and stuff, either WarriorCon on Saturday or the Skokie store on Sunday, man. So
totally.
Hopefully you'll see Phillip.
I love those guys. It's always a pleasure to see Art and Franco.
Yeah, man.
When they found out I was the new Superman guy, they were so supportive and really kind. I was so in San Diego, there's a hang that happens every night with the DC talent. At this one particular place, and Art and Franco were there at one point, and I heard Art telling the story of him and I meeting secondhand. Like the whole place is kind of like split. There's like a little railing, and there's like a lower and an upper part. And I overheard Art telling the story about how he and I met for the first time, and it was just really kind. He's just a really, really nice dude. And I'm glad he remembers that meeting fondly, because I do too. He's a great guy.
Again, I think both of you really got a great handle on Superman, and Franco too, for that matter. When he co-writes with Artie, and when he's done it solo as well. So no, it's great, and we may as well, given that we're talking about Art and Franco and Superman. Do I have a? Oh, I didn't bring up a cover. Shame on me. I want to talk about House of L because man, that's a great miniseries, Philip.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for people who haven't caught up. 3 issues so far. 4th issue's coming out. Is it coming out this December, right? Because last week was 3.
Yes. Yeah. It's 1 per month. It's going to run through August. It's really fun, man. It's so fun to get to see a future DC universe and just play with all the same toys, but and almost it's a Wonderful Life kind of setup where you get to see what might happen, you know.
Yeah, cautionary dystopian future. Yeah,
it's really fun. Issue 4 is really exciting. Can't wait for everyone to see what's coming. Like I'm actually spinning out a lot of the threads from Green Lantern War Journal for issues 4 and 5. We're going to see what happens to John and Ellie Stewart and what the ramifications are for that way down the line, how it ties in with the other god aspects of Olgren and with Superman's house and everything.
So, this is great, Phil, because truly you've got 3 really distinct villains happening in House of L and Batman and Robin, and of course Hulk, which is about to have a big seismic shift as well. We'll talk about the issue 30 and what's coming up in next Wednesday for the next Hulk.
That's right, day before Thanksgiving. It's coming out.
Excellent. But for now, House of L. So, what's the name of the? And I know it's a character that you've introduced before, but what's his name? The guy that sent Superman to the future.
The big bad, Krill Ux.
Yeah. Say it again.
Krill Ux.
Krill Ux. Okay, so Krill Ux sends Superman to the future. It seems like everybody's dead. It's a very different dystopian world.
Go
ahead. Yeah,
I've been telling everyone it's Action Comics meets Samurai Jack, basically. He goes into the future, and it's this dystopian world where the bad guy won, and it's their world now. And he's been trying to bring together all the aspects of Olgren so that he himself can be reborn as Olgren and have control of all creation, bring his family back. So he's meant to be kind of a dark mirror kind of version of Superman, in which he lost his whole world, similar to how Superman did. But instead of honoring them with his quest for truth and justice, he'll just do anything to bring them back, even if the rest of creation has to pay the price. And we see the fortress. He has his own fortress. He has a fortress of desolation that we see that is clearly modeled after the Fortress of Solitude. His own version of it, and I can't wait for people to see more of it. I don't know. It's just a really fun character, man. But he's also a tragic character, and I like the idea of Superman trying to beat him and to win while also trying to save him, because that's just such a Superman move.
And also the great thing is we're seeing what has happened to Metropolis, what has happened to Smallville. Man, I always love seeing things like the Fortress, or I remember when Johnson Meltzer were doing Action, and it was Batman was experiencing the Legion of Superheroes and stuff, and either they mention it or they go to the Batcave, and it's 1,000 years later. It's like, yeah, we all know where it is. It's no big deal. That's right. which cracked me up. But also, my God, and also Kyle points it out. Thankfully, we're not sure exactly how, because how many hundreds of years in the future is it?
It's roughly 1,000 years.
All right, so it's 1,000 years, and Jimmy Olsen seems to have survived. Sort of. And in fact, as Kyle points out in issue 2, was it issue 2? I thought it was issue 3, but Turtle Jimmy.
I don't remember. I think he turtles out in issue 3, I think. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, Jimmy has been through so much, to get to bring out the Signal Watch and show him Turtle Boying out. Because we're kind of asking the question, how did he live so long? How is he still around? And turtles live a long time.
Well, that's what I assumed, Phil, because honestly, it's of course Jimmy can still be Turtle Boy and everything, although now ancient turtle man. But Turtle, man, they live over 100 years.
Yeah.
So why not? That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. And
And
man,
also,
that was one of the best pages Scott ever drew. It turned out so good when he blows up and he's like, "I'm still Superman's pal," and becomes this giant turtle. It's just so fun.
it was fantastic, man. Yeah, it was great. And so and tell us about Superman's descendant as well.
Sure. Oh, Ronan.
Ronan Kent.
Yeah. So Ronan is one of. So we'll see that twins are kind of tend to reappear in Superman's line. So which we'll see if we get to see more and more of the Book of El in the back matter and everything. At some point, we'll talk about that. How not like every generation, but now and again, twins will pop up again. And Ronan and Rowan Kent are kind of the standard bearers. And for those who've been reading the back matter, they'll see that at some point, while their cousin, I wrote this shit. I think I should know this better. Either their cousin or their uncle, Brandon Kent, was the Superman of Earth while Ronan and Rowan were kind of growing up, and Brandon was raising them. And while Brandon was Superman, Ronan and Rowan were going by Nightwing and Flamebird. And then at a certain point, Brandon dies, and then the twins kind of split up. Like around that same time, Rowan got real invested into Lightborn, that's the thing we'll see in the next issue. I don't want to spoil too much, but it ties in with Ellie Stewart from Green Lantern War Journal. So she leaves Earth on his quest of her own, and Ronan stays behind to kind of become the Superman of Earth, but his heart's not in it entirely, and he's a little more aimless. He didn't really learn everything he needed to know before Brandon died, and he's doing his best, but he's also being real careful not to get noticed because Brainiac's got everything on lockdown, and it's just he's doing his best, but he's kind of like what's an example, like a Luke Skywalker type if he never met Obi-Wan, like he's trying to be a good guy. In his heart, he's a hero. He's trying to be a good guy, but he doesn't have the guidance.
Well, that's good. So that's why it's great that Superman shows up, obviously, and can help him out. But not only Brainiac is there, but also I love the Luthor construct.
Yeah, right. Well, that is Brainiac. Yeah. So
okay, because it was. I see. So Brainiac was speaking through the Luthor robot. That seems to be
in the back matter.
Yeah.
In the back matter, it talks about. So there's always a Luthor in charge in Metropolis, or in what becomes Tropolis Kine, which is kind of like the Kines are kind of like prefectures. Kind of, it's like a little region, and so let's see. I can't remember how it went down exactly, but Luthor ends up becoming like a leader in that area, and then the next person comes in and takes the name Luthor, and over time it just sort of becomes like an appointed seat. So it's like the House of Luthor, but not exactly, because it doesn't necessarily have to be him. But so Brainiac, at some point we discovered that Brainiac, for the last several generations, the Luthors have actually been Brainiac, just pretending to be human. So he's just like a puppet government, and he's just kind of running things. And the whole planet at this point is like his bottle world,
Yes.
And he's just kind of using it for his own evil deeds and his own genetic experiments.
It's hilarious, man. And no, this is 12 issues. Then you're gonna do a full 12.
Yep, 12 issues.
That's fantastic. Well, D. Holler is saying that he loves the book.
Oh, thanks.
Again, now this might be something that we learn as the story progresses, but Chatham says, speaking of blowing up, how terrifying looking and intimidating does Krill look now as the Promethean King? How has absorbing so many of the outrun aspects changed him?
So actually some of so he's talking about the aspects of Ulgrin. So the idea is that Ulgrin was one of the first world gods. And kind of like Kronos in the Greek myths, he is pulled apart by, like when he loses his mind, he's pulled apart into 7 aspects. And right now he says at the end of issue 3 that 4 of them are under his control, but he has not actually internalized them into his own body the way that also he did take that. We saw him take that one into himself, which is why he's all stone now and he looks kind of like Darkseid sort of. But he has not internalized all of them. Like they're under his control, but he hasn't taken them into himself yet. Now we will see some changes throughout the series. We'll see how he continues to change. But for now, he is more or less the way that we saw him at the end of issue 1. But of course, time has passed, so he looks a little different. But all of his big transformations are yet to come.
Okay,
But I can't wait for everyone to see. It's Scott's doing amazing work, and yeah, I mean, Algren's at the heart of this whole thing. I really wanted everyone to see the mythology that we're building, and I'm actually writing a lot of that back matter now that gets into the nitty gritty of that lore and what's to come.
Well, the other thing as far as back matter that I've really enjoyed are Lois's notes. And
thanks.
Yeah, man, no, and really, it's funny because then also in the Hulk you got great back matter going on as well.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, again, you're giving it, more than just a story, man. That's the thing. You're really fleshing things out, and I always appreciate a good text piece that just informs the comic story that we're getting as well. But yeah, and I love that Jimmy and Lois doing what they can when Superman disappears to kind of and whenever this new change in the world happens, that they're kind of running the underground, and that their underground newspaper is called the Signal Watch, which is fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
And also the kids.
Actually, I think technically, so the Signal Watch becomes the symbol of the thing, but I think what they call it, what is it called? They call it the second hand, I think.
Oh, that's right, the second hand. Excuse me, of course, because tying still to the watch.
Yeah, there's a couple different meanings that we'll get into in the back matter. Like this is going to cap off the whole second omnibus. I'll get into the double meanings of the second hand and all that, but basically, it's about the Signal Watch.
And Chatham also says, regarding can we just have a trade of just your notes for the whole thing, starting from War World, absolutely, to the all the way through the Book of Well. I could read that forever. I agree. But also another aspect of the story that we haven't really seen the reveal yet. But the twins are missing is when Superman goes missing, the twins go missing.
Right.
And obviously that's something that he's holding to let Superman know. Yeah, I got your kids, and
yeah, we'll definitely get into that too. I don't want to spoil any of that because it's they have a really important, like since introducing the kids in Action Comics, they had a very important role to play in all of this. So I don't want to spoil where that's going. It's gonna be cool though.
Honestly, it's really a pleasure to read, and also it'll be fun to see what Hal and John are doing. And that's a great thing too, because you really are teasing in Lois's notes what's coming. And it's like, hey, Jimmy and I are heading towards Oa, and Hal and John are trying to attack the problem this way, and things like that. No, it's cool, man. It's it kind of reminds me of what Peter David set up with the Maestro in Future Imperfect, in the Hulk story and everything. And then, instead of old man Rick Jones, we got old man Jimmy Olsen, obviously trying to keep the flame alive and everything.
Yeah, totally. There's a version of Lois's notes that I got shot down. There were all these misspellings and things crossed out all the way through it. I wish we'd kept that. That's how.
Yeah.
In fact, in the final version that I submitted, that it got put in design, and it came back to me, and I tweaked some things, but the crossouts were all still in there. And then at some point, somebody took them out. So I was like, oh man, that would have been it needed that. I mean, I understand it looks. To somebody who doesn't know the Lois lore, I guess it might have looked like it was all mistakes, like that we were making.
Yeah,
but I don't know. To me, it felt worth it. Like it felt like it would have been like a little Easter egg, like a nod to her character.
Well, and what they set up, what Donner set up in the first movie, and that great line from Perry. There's no Z in Brazier. That's
right.
That's what I always think of when Lois has misspelled something and everything.
Yeah, man. There was a really good. Bendis did a really great gag with the misspellings. I can't remember how it went exactly. Like she was asking Clark how to spell certain things, and he would tell him, and then she said something else that clearly was not meant to be a correction, and he corrected her again just because he was in that zone. I can't remember how he did it, but like Bendis is just great with that kind of humor. He really nailed that part of Lois.
That's great. And also, I mean, just and another story that this reminds me, and again, this I'm not saying that Phil knows, I'm not saying this to say that he's swiping or anything like that. But it kind of reminds me of Superman Lost, where Priest, threw Superman at the other end of the galaxy and stuff, and it was going to take him decades to come back on his own power, and that he really is, he's going to the fortress to get a time machine to send him back. By the way, that's another great thing, and I forgive me, your artist again on this story. What's his name?
Scott Godlewski.
Scott did a great job. I love the fact that Superman's time machine essentially is the George Pell time machine.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not looking for copyright infringement. I'm not trying to get
No,
these guys in trouble.
Those are nods to Grant's book, to the Superman of the Authority book, because that was in there too.
I can remember that. Oh, that's fantastic.
That was in there, and the Supermobile, and the round table, and what else was in there? There's a bunch of stuff that he included in Superman's Fortress that I wanted to show, just to tie it all in together again, because like Grant and I, tied our books together, so I wanted that stuff to be in there too.
That's great, man. No, it's a great read. All right, so again, we've got issue 4 coming up next month.
Yep.
And really 3 issues are out, and yeah, you really need to catch up on these. And that's the great thing about these other books of Batman and Superman and stuff. It gives you guys this chance to explore different facets of the character beyond what's happening in the regular Superman title and the action title. And stuff.
Yeah, that's been one of the real joys of the of the Batman and Robin book too, is to get to dive deeper into their relationship. Like really just take a few pages now and again and just explore what it's like to have a dad like that, like where your dad is actually Batman, or if to try to raise a kid like Damian has already seen so much. And I don't know, they're both so fascinating, such high achievers, but also so busted, and to get to explore all that in the book is so fun. And with Superman, it's about the legacy, like the whole thing practically. I mean, almost everything I've done on Superman has been this homage to Superman 400, and that idea of Superman in the future, what his legacy for all of us is.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
I'd say that I met Elliot S. Magan at a con.
Talk to me.
I was on a panel. I can't remember where this was, man. Was this San Diego, maybe? I think it might have been San Diego. And this great moderator was there, and she was talking about who was going to be there. It's great people, and she just kind of was talking through the thing with me before we started, and she just kind of blew by the name Elliot. It was like blah blah, and Elliot's going to talk about this, and I was like, wait, Elliot, like Elliot who? And she's like, Elliot S. Magan. I was like, what? He's here? Like, I've never met him. I didn't know he was around. I didn't know he did this stuff. It's like, that's him right there, and that's this old guy sitting on the front row that I'd never seen before. I was like, can I talk to him? I was like, I guess. I was probably acting kind of weird. I was like, I went and, basically washed his feet. I was like, man, I am such a fan of yours. And like, I kind of made a big fuss over him on the panel. Cause, Mark Waid was, doing that kind of stuff back in the day, and he was kind of out before he got back in again. And now Mark is back in it, kicking ass. And, that totally could have been Elliot too. Like, Elliot did such important work on Superman back in the day, and I just don't think he gets his due.
I couldn't agree more, man.
So I just kind of, banged the table for him while he was there and get everyone to make a fuss over him, because I just think he's amazing. And it was a real honor to get to tell him what his work meant to me personally, and that basically everything I did on the character was like a thank you to him. I was kind of embarrassed I hadn't reached out to him before then, but I'm really glad we got to meet.
He and Carrie Bates were my first 2 Superman writers back in the 70s. And it's been such a pleasure having him on the few times that I have and talking about him. I mean, those novels, I just had him on before. I wish, it's so funny. Phillip and I were having issues with microphones before we came on. And I had a great interview with him about his latest. He wrote a Lex Luthor book last year, Citizen Lex. Yep. And it's great. Now my microphone sucks, but he sounds fantastic. And but no, it really ties right into his Last Son of Krypton and Miracle Monday stuff and everything. And it, and not to mention, he did. I'm glad you mentioned Wade, because he did the novel of Kingdom Come. Wade did the obviously graphic novel, but Elliot did the novel and everything. No, it's so important and everything. Like I said, him and Carrie Bates, man, they were, and Marty too, Pasco for that matter. I'm sorry you never got to meet Marty.
Yeah, me too. I need to get the two. I need to get Mark and Elliot and Mr. Magan. I need to get those two together at a table and just listen to them talk about this stuff, because I would just die to be a fly on the wall.
I hear you. Well, not only all right. So and again, I really love this. You're really exploring family in both this and Batman and Robin. And here, good opportunity to transition to Batman and Robin. Caesar says, I just want to say your last issue of Batman and Robin was your best yet.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks, man.
well, a great story, and we're really dealing with fathers and sons and Batman and Robin. And last time you were on, we talked about the Quiet Man, and here's issue what is it? Issue 26. And I know you're a couple since then. But I just what a cool character, man, because he's just this guy who has this massive chip on his shoulder, and we already have the reveal. I mean, also this is kind of like mini Hush. Not that Tommy's in there, but in terms of the event where the Penguin is in there, you got Two-Face in there, and of course the Quiet Man now, and of course who the Quiet Man is really after.
Yeah,
because he killed his son, the ventriloquist now.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things that I love so much about Hush is honestly the primary thing is that how many they just managed to take everything about Batman and boil it in there. And you could say the same to a certain degree of Long Halloween. I love how it's like this murder mystery that goes through the whole roster almost. And you do the same thing on an even bigger scale in Hush with Jim Lee's art, which at the time was just like a mind-blowing concept. But yeah, I don't know. I love that. I wanted to explore just the aesthetic of Gotham through the villains and the way that they control different parts of Gotham. Everyone that's working on a Gotham book has a map that we all kind of established before, like as Matt Fraction was about to come on to the book, we all kind of had these documents that we were all sharing, and like a Slack channel we all jump into and talk about, like whenever someone has a question, we all kind of battle off of each other. There was this one time the artist for a particular issue drew a certain borough of Gotham differently than I imagined. Like there were some trees in it in a way that I didn't think they belonged. And rather than get an art patch, I was like, I wonder if we can if there's a part of Gotham that looks like this. And I kind of dropped the page in there and into the Slack and asked everyone else, hey, everyone take a look at this. Like, is there a part of Gotham this could plausibly be? And we kind of discuss it and figure out how to make jazz out of it, Anyway, sorry, getting kind of off track, but getting to share all the same toys just makes them all feel like the same story is being told, or at least that they're all flying in the same direction. Like there's like we're all kind of sharing each other's tools as we go.
Yeah, continuity. Sure.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. But yeah, the Quiet Man, again, so deceptively ordinary, which is how he can slip in and out. But talk about this, Philip, because truly Batman's rogues are known for their flamboyance and their distinct, crazy physical features as well. And again, I'll bring up the second cover of the arc, and there he is, man.
Just a guy,
just a guy.
My art direction for the Quiet Man for Cyrus Mercer was that he should look like Liam Neeson, like kind of that age, like maybe not present day age, but like I had photo ref from a couple of relatively recent movies where he's dressed in a similar sort of way. And then also I would send some ref of him back from his Next of Kin days, Patrick Swayze. Remember that? Yep. Like this family of rednecks goes into the city to get revenge. Yes. Liam Neeson's one of them, like right on top of a train. I don't know. I wanted that kind of aesthetic. So you're right. A lot of the Gotham City villains are known, or I mean, honestly, comic villains generally are known for their theatrical look.
Yeah.
And his thing is his particular church that he belongs to in the mountains. There's this mountain. I don't know how much time you spent in like mountain towns, like really like towns that are just like built into the hills themselves, where it's kind of hard to get in and out. Like some of these old kind of dine out mining towns. Sometimes you will see places where there's just not any kind of, there's no chain companies of any kind. Like if there's a shoe store, it's just called like, Walker Shoes or whatever. Like it's just like some dude's store. And it can be really hard to get in there. And because of that, sometimes you'll find places where the culture is just not touched by anything else. So have very, very distinct accents, very distinct ways of talking or doing things. And I just imagine this guy as being from one of those kind of communities and who's very shaped by his faith. Now he's on this mission of revenge, and so like his signature thing is laying these antique silver dollars in the eyes of the dead, and the silver dollars are weirdly valuable. So when Batman finds them, he's like, "This fucking thing's worth $25,000." But it's because like there are these dollars that kind of circulate in this little town and nowhere else, and they don't know how valuable they are. So it becomes a clue as Batman's trying to hunt down who this dude is. So he's distinct in the gospel that he speaks when he's killing people, and
Yes.
in his practice of putting dollars in the eyes of the dead, that kind of thing. But his concept of what the Quiet Man is basically asking the question, what if Crime Alley happened to just some normal guy, like somebody who didn't have all the resources of a Bruce Wayne, who didn't have Alfred, who didn't have the Wayne Library or the fortune or just the will and the intellect to do the things that Batman did? What if he was just a guy with a truck and a gun? And what then? So that's kind of what we're seeing. Like I wanted to see the Batman legend explored through somebody else's eyes, and for Damian to see it, for Damian to see the similarities and the differences, and to just kind of question the whole mission that he and his dad are on.
And also the Quiet Man, again, it's just he just tears through these people. He beats the hell out of the Penguin and all of his guys, and and what Damian tries to get out of him, he just swats him away like a little bug, and also is insulted, and he's like, yeah, way to put your kid in jeopardy, Batman. What kind of father are you? And certainly, the dead son is certainly in his mind, and he has his conversations with him, and that's it. I mean, really, you've got this great thing in it, and it started with the first issue where Bruce is like, "Hey, Damian, let's do normal father and son things. Let's go to a movie. And he's like, what? We're not going to patrol? No, we're just going to be dad and son. It's important that the rest of your life is as important." He's like, "You're a good Robin." It was really great, man. It was really touching that Bruce is just really like trying to be, the best dad he can. And he's Fraction and I talked about this too, where he's a horrible father, but he's trying, and that's the great thing, man. I mean, Batman shouldn't be perfect at everything, and then this son of a bitch just shows up and screws everything up, and he's got to deal with
right.
it.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a really fun story. I'm very proud of the character and proud of where it's going. I will say the two are like we see the introduction of the Quiet Man, and then the introduction of Ventriloquist, as you said.
Yes, it did.
And originally, when I put these stories together, each of those was going to be its own arc. Like the Quiet Man arc was going to be its own thing.
Okay.
And the Ventriloquist thing was going to be its own arc as well. But because of like shared universe kind of stuff, there was a need for it to all be like one thing.
Okay.
So it's been a challenge to make sure that we're getting the stories done that we need to in the amount of time that allotted before the next big shift, But yeah, I'm very proud of that character, and just another lens through which to see the Batman Robin relationship, And it's, as you say, he talks about his son, and the Quiet Man does. And anyone who's ever heard me talk about literally anything knows that I'm very close with my own kid. And I don't want to say he's all I care about, but he's up there, and I think about him a lot. And in the context of a Batman and a Robin story, it just makes sense to see somebody like the Quiet Man, like somebody for whom everything went wrong, and what you would do.
Chemdog says he's glad to see the Ventriloquist get some play between what you're doing and also Dark Patterns.
Man, Dan Waters and I have such similar aesthetics. Like I love Dan, and I had no idea that he was going to use Ventriloquist. Like when I came on, who I haven't seen in a long time is Ventriloquist, and I really wanted to use that character and give him some play. And then I find out what Dan's doing. I'm like, well, shit, it's too late now. I guess we're both going to do it.
It's all right.
So sometimes that happens.
I think I got an upcoming cover. I think, there we go. And you're right there. There's
cool, right?
Absolutely, I love this. And yeah, man. So no, that's going to be interesting. Is this your first bite of the apple playing with the Ventriloquist?
Yeah, it is. I pitched a Ventriloquist / Scarface story for a short story anthology a long time ago. And elements of it are coming into play in this story, but it's really nothing like the thing I had originally pitched. It was going to be a love story. And it was going to be really fun, but also super twisted. I think I kind of impressed the editor. They're like, wow, this is actually crazy. Like, I can't believe I'm reading this. But I was very proud of it. It would have been fun to do.
Well,
anyway, I just think I think it's so beautiful how crazy he is. He's as crazy as a Batman villain should be, and I love that he's another victim, like Ventriloquist himself is a victim of Scarface, and he doesn't necessarily know what Scarface is up to all the time, and he's probably his no one's been more victimized than him by Scarface, and he has so little control over that whole thing. I don't know. I just think he's fascinating.
I agree, and I think there's a darker element to this story that I haven't seen in a while, because I've always seen more of that innocent victim in the Ventriloquist more so, and like you said, but at least at the beginning, and I love that cover with him, carving the Batman Robin dolls and stuff, and even when we first see him hunched over carving a new doll, and it's like, what are you working on? I don't know, but I don't know. It hasn't revealed itself to me yet. And I just kind of like the idea that he's making the dummies. It's funny. I mean, I should know that Edgar Bergen certainly did that with Charlie McCarthy and his ventriloquist dummies and stuff. He built them himself. So
right.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like that.
Yeah, thanks. I'm very proud of it. I think you'll like what's coming. There's a couple of really fun beats coming up. I mean, when I say fun, I mean like violent and disturbing, but he was one of my favorite parts of the animated series. I thought it was great. I remember as a kid watching it, I loved how it kind of kept it as an open question whether Scarface was real and like whether he was actually a living thing. Like it did such a beautiful job in making you like, it must be a doll, but there are these moments where it seems to make that seem more plausible for a second. And it keeps you on the edge of belief in a way that I just thought was beautiful.
You ever see that horror movie Magic with Anthony Hopkins and Anne Margaret, where he's the
actually.
Oh my God. The trailer itself used to scare the shit out of me.
I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna type it in right now.
Early 80s. Yeah, either very late 70s or early 80s. But yeah, it's very, it's young Anthony Hopkins. It's before age took over for him. But it's kind of and of course there's those
winter days.
Yeah, and of course those the Twilight Zones with the ventriloquist dummies. Actually, a twisted Fantasy Island has Annette Funicello as a ventriloquist whose doll is taking over, and Fantasy Island got wonderfully goofy at times, and it was trying to be serious and very psychological and stuff, and it was like, okay, sure, I'm in. But Magic, check it out.
I will, for sure. I just so my son found, I don't know why I'm thinking of this right now, but he found this great show on Netflix called Pantheon.
Okay.
And it's about the nature of AI and where it might go in the future, and possibility of like uploading human intelligence into like digital form and all that in similar ways to how it was explored in the Alien show, in the Alien Earth, kind of. But it also kind of got me thinking about Anders has never seen The Matrix, and that was kind of the Matrix and Terminator and all those ideas that eventually led to stuff like Pantheon, where now it's like less visually exciting than something like Terminator and Matrix, but just a more plausible, scary kind of story about humans versus machines. So it's kind of gotten us going down the rabbit hole of other kind of human versus tech sort of stories. And I don't know, it's just really fun to watch stuff with him that he's never experienced, and also find new stuff for myself that way too.
That's cool. I was telling you off there, Gabe Harmon and I are going to do a Scene Missing tomorrow night. We're discussing what movies. Next month we're going to do, and here's another one for everybody to look up if you don't know it, Colossus: The Forbidden Project, and it's from 1970, and it's in that period of Omega Man and the Planet of the Apes movies where Eric Braeden creates a supercomputer, and this is again 1970 or 71 when it came out. So it's back in the days when the computers were, 2 rooms wide, and the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
reel-to-reel machine, on the as far as memory tape and everything. And he
Yeah.
creates it to help the military secure the country and stuff, and it takes over the world. Yeah, spoiler. And
What's it called
doesn't.
again?
Colossus: The Forbidden Project. I'll send you a link.
Okay. Well,
Um,
I'm writing it down here.
okay, there you go.
You know,
And
that's why I thought of it, John. I thought of the Matrix stuff because
yeah,
of the way that my son helped me find something new. Whenever I talk to you, I'm always
ah,
discovering new stuff. Not well, new old stuff that I never
new to
knew about.
you. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. No, and that's the thing, because I mean, a lot of people immediately go to Skynet and Terminator 2, and it's like,
Right.
no, like literally like 15 years before. And it was based on they made 3 novels of Colossus, and that's what the movie is kind of based on. And yeah, it's great. And I think it's weird, and certainly again the tech doesn't hold up as far as the way they're presenting computer technology, but the idea is very strong. And yeah, so yeah, Colossus: The Forbidden Project.
I'll check it
Everybody,
out.
look for it. There you go. Absolutely. How many issues for The Quiet Man?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go through February for that one. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And like you said, through August for the House of
Yes.
L.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, let's move on to the Hulk. And
Sure.
man, first of all, it was great to see. And again,
Yeah.
I all right, now again, I meant to write this down. You've got your 2 big bads.
Mhm.
And give me their names again.
Eldest, who is
Yes.
the firstborn of the mother of horrors.
Yes. So it is Eldest that assumes the abomination in issue 30
Yes.
of Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. So
And
eldest is not quite as godlike as she presents. I say herself because when we met her, it's in the female body, but
yeah.
eldest predates the concept of binary gender. It's just like it's a thing that takes other bodies,
Uh-huh.
And so when we first meet eldest, she presents herself as being the firstborn of the mother of horrors, but what we actually learn is that she's the oldest one that's still around. And also she's a body snatcher basically. And we find that, thousands of years ago, she, for a very brief time, she took the body of a primordial Hulk to unlock the gate to free the mother of horrors and bring an age of monsters back to the world. And the green door opened and burned her out of it. And, now she's after Hulk's body again as a key to free her mother and bring the age of monsters about. And she's when her efforts to get Hulk failed in issue 19, I believe, she starts finding other gamma creatures, just trying to soup them up enough to be able to do the same thing, but nothing works. Hulk is the heir to the one below all, and nothing else will do. But she does siphon the gamma out of all these other characters, and pump it all into Abomination. So we get to see this really badass Abomination fight, which is fun.
Fantastic fight with them. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, Nick does such amazing work, man. Nick's incredible.
Nick Klein, everybody. Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is it's a feast for your eyes, and really it is this great issue 30 was this great knockdown drag out. Well, we see what happened already, and we next week. Now, is it what is the new title called?
Infernal Hulk, number 1.
Infernal Hulk. There it is.
Yeah, Infernal Hulk is the beginning of Act 2. So yeah, it's everything that we've done up till now. The first 30 issues of Incredible Hulk has been Act 1, and that's when we establish all the characters. We put all the pieces on the board. We have all these cameos from different well-established monsters of the Marvel U, and yeah, all the pieces are on the board now. And issue 30 is where it was all going, and now we get the next act. And from this point on, we start to involve the rest of the Marvel universe a lot more. It's like up till now, Hulk has been Banner's monster.
Yes.
Now the Infernal Hulk is basically the monster of Earth. Like what as Incredible Hulk is to Banner, as Infernal Hulk is to the planet. So we see he's got after the events of issue 30, his power set is changed. he's got this crazy corruptive power in his, like one side of his body is like scar tissue, and he can like corrupt things with it, and it's got to be wild. This next issue is the best I think that Nick has ever drawn, probably of any book, but certainly of this book. And that's a bold statement. I mean, the stuff he's done already is already mind blowing. We see all these transformations and how incredible they've been. But I'm telling you, man, this next issue, there is so much ink on the page. It's just, I gave him a fight scene between him and this gigantic military unit, and the stuff he does. Oh God, I can't wait for you to see.
So now Bruce is even more. Well, actually, no. She separated Bruce and the Hulk, and she has taken over, as she was trying to do with the other Gamma things. She finally has taken over the Hulk, and we'll find out. I guess where Banner is.
So now there's a new Hulk. There's a new Hulk personality now.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
A new alter, but this one originated outside of Hulk's body. So it's another alter of Hulk, just like Devil Hulk, Savage Hulk, the Green Scar, the World Breaker, all these other ones, Joe Fixit.
Yeah.
All those things kind of split from Hulk's mind already. Infernal Hulk is a new one, but it was one that was created by the introduction of Eldest into Hulk's flesh, and then consuming the Mother of Horrors while in that body, and now it kind of makes this new thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say ChemDog, and I don't think this is happening, but you correct me if I'm wrong. He's like, I'm not sure where the Imperial storyline that Hickman and everyone is doing takes place in your run. Are they going to dovetail?
No, sometimes I get a question about that. The reason they don't is because so much, like my whole story up till now has been a series of really short arcs, and often weeks or more will pass between issues. Like a story will resolve in Indiana, and then the next time we see them, they're in Tennessee, and we don't know how they got there, how long it took to get them there. So there's all these big windows of time passing in between issues, and it's really no trouble to assume that the entire, like all the events of Imperial take place between issues of Incredible Hulk. So we didn't really overthink it. Like Jonathan, I was in I was virtual in the Marvel Summit when Jonathan was there pitching Imperial, and he asked me if there would be room for what he had planned in Imperial, and I was like, honestly, there's so much time passing between issues. It's not unusual it would not be crazy to imagine this whole thing happening in between arcs of my book. I don't think they need to acknowledge each other, really.
No.
And they kind of don't, and it's been fine. Because I mean, here's the thing: it only matters when the book hits shelves in like a floppy, and then like 3 months later, no one ever cares again, and it just exists in trade. And no one's going to be going through like, today I'm going to read all the July 2024 books. It's all just, I'm reading Imperial, I'm reading Incredible Hulk, I'm reading Daredevil or whatever. So I didn't feel the need to kind of muddy the waters between stories, and Jonathan didn't either.
I completely agree, and it reminds me of when Brubaker was still doing his own thing in Daredevil, and really Daredevil wasn't part of Civil War. And I remember Quesada getting the question, and it's like, Ed's doing his thing. This is Civil War is Mark's thing. Ed's doing Daredevil. It's fine. And like you said, no, it's not. It is not going to matter post newsstand, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And it's and again, no disrespect, ChemDog, but it's just when people ask that question, it's like, because how could the Justice League be doing this when they're out in space? It's a different.
I don't at all blame ChemDog for asking that question. Or other people too, because I mean I get questions like that constantly.
Sure.
And they want it all to make sense and feel real, and I totally get that, and that's great. But it's people only care like that long. Really, it would not be if we bothered to answer the question and like put out a calendar from like the 1930s until now about when everything happened.
Yeah,
we could do that, but there's just no need,
Yeah. No, I agree, man, and that's fine. I didn't even realize, because I'm behind on Imperial. I just had Stephanie Phillips on, and she was telling me about Planet She-Hulk, and she's like, "Yeah, Bruce is the one that sends her to Scar and everything." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, and again, I'll even confess, I'm like, all right, I don't know how that jives with Phillips' story, but I don't care. That's cool. Whatever.
Who's a so when Grant and I were kind of sorting out how Superman and the Authority and Action were going to tie together, and how to set up Warworld saga, Grant had this idea. We were trying to make sense of how. So I mean, it seemed from the beginning, it seemed very clear that Grant's story was like an Elseworlds kind of thing. Superman was older, his powers were
diminishing.
downgrading a little. He had
Yeah.
a different costume.
Yep.
Light Ray was not the light ray we'd seen. Same for OMAC. It seemed like a different world, kind of. But at a certain point, I learned that Grant wanted this whole thing to count and be part of modern continuity. And I was like, all right, let's figure it out. And Grant said that he envisioned a reveal coming in which we see that the Superman that we've been following up to that point was like Superman had been split into two Supermen. But rather than red and blue, like the ones that we've seen, he was split ideologically. So there's like a libertarian Superman and a socialist Superman or something. And it was such a cool, creative Grant kind of idea.
Totally.
But I did not see a way forward in which it would tie into what I was doing. I could have found a way to make it make sense with Warworld Saga, but it also would have distracted from the theme of like human trafficking and slavery and, Superman being a creation of the Kents and his Kryptonian blah, blah. I had all these things that I wanted to kind of address, and that would have been, it would have, as I said before, kind of muddied the waters. And Grant very kindly left that out.
Understood.
And there were things I left out of my stuff because I didn't want to muddy up his story. It's better to let each story kind of be its own thing. Who's a continuity nerd above all the others is Jeremy Adams.
Oh, that does not surprise me. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeremy's become like one of my best friends in comics. That dude is
He's
so
great,
fun to talk to, and so positive, and he gets the memo. He understands how grateful we're supposed to be to do this job, and he's telling stories about heroes as one should. But oh boy, is he a continuity nerd, and it's hilarious to talk to him about. It's like, yeah, but when does this happen, and what month is blah blah blah. So whenever he gets down into the weeds about it, it's hilarious because I just don't care to the degree that he does. But it's fun to remind myself that there are definitely a ton of people that really want it all to work on the timeline.
I'm so happy for him. He's another guy like yourself as well that's really getting great opportunities and telling really great stories with those opportunities and everything.
Jeremy's great. He's definitely the right man for this job, and he's doing a great job. And it's nice to have him in animation too. But I always love picking up a comic that he wrote.
My buddy Chuck that's always with me when I travel, he was at Terrificon with me and stuff.
Yeah.
And forgive me, Philip, you were was it this year at Terrificon or last year?
My last Terrificon was last year. I was doing
it was 24. Yeah. Because all right, Jeremy was there this year, and and we were all talking in the lobby at Mohegan Sun and everything, and Chuck's just hanging out. And I don't know how it happened, but he mentioned that he did the Mortal Kombat animated movies. And Chuck, who is like, my silent Bob, basically, he's a great guy, but he doesn't have much to say. He's a very sweet guy, though. He immediately got excited. He's like, wait a minute, I have all those Mortal Kombat animated movies. You did those? And all of a sudden, they have their own conversation for like 10 minutes. And it was Jeremy, so great.
Yeah. He's legit as fuck in animation. He's done a lot of real stuff. He's done like the Lego stuff and some other DC things.
And also,
he made his bones in animation more so than comics.
Well, and even Supernatural. And of course, he co-wrote that great episode of Supernatural where they're in the Scooby-Doo episode and everything, which is terrific. But no, it was so.
It's funny. I had more credits than him in comics when he started doing comics, and he had animation experience, in which I am interested in. And sometimes
that's great.
Where we kind of compare notes on how various things work, and it's always really fun. I met Mark Guggenheim through him, and now Mark and I are friends.
I love Mark.
Whenever we get to compare different media in that way, it's always it's really fun talking to those guys.
Absolutely. But yeah, it was so funny because truly, like, he's like, I really like that Jeremy guy. I'm like, well, you certainly. I'm like, clearly he likes you too. And yeah, I'm like, Jeremy, you certainly made an impression on Chuck. And I go, Chuck loves hanging out and going to the convention and stuff, and he loves meeting all you guys. But he was really excited about Jeremy. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to watch the Mortal Kombat animated movies now and know what I'm talking about with Jeremy when it comes to that stuff. So, now. Okay, now I guess Magic K may not be reading House of L because he asks if he ever wanted to tackle a Brainiac story.
Yeah. I mean, there's some Brainiac stuff in there. I mean, I would have loved to have done like a truly Brainiac-centric arc of Action Comics. I mean, the thing that we're doing now on Book of L is more of it's almost like the 12 Layers of Superman thing that that Grant tackled in All-Star, where it's kind of going through like just the big important parts of Superman's mythology and seeing where they all lead. So Brainiac is getting some love in here, and actually, there's going to be more. I should probably shut up. You're going to see some Brainiac in this story.
I figured.
So,
yeah, I mean,
like
even though he's an agent of however you say his name,
Krillux, yeah,
and everything,
Yeah, he's the main bad in issues 2 and 3, but he's not. His role is not quite done. So you'll see some of that in Book of L. So check that out. Yeah, I mean, I was as far as my time on Action, Josh had those plans for the Brainiac Queen stuff, so there wasn't really. I would have been stepping on Josh's toes if I'd used him then. But again, like I'm not dead yet. We'll see.
Attaboy. No, I'm really excited with everything you got coming up, Philip. These stories in progress.
Oh man, me too.
And
so for those who are listening, next week I'm going to come back on John's show, and I got a big announcement to talk about with John. And John, you're my first ask. I want to make sure I talk to you about this.
It means a lot, Philip. Truly, your friendship has meant a lot ever since we really started clicking and everything. And so he's got to get going. He's got to get going. But I really wanted Philip to come on tonight, even briefly, to mention WarriorCon, which is happening at Maine West in Des Plaines, Illinois. That's happening this coming Saturday. So if you're near the Chicago area, it's worth it. It's only $5. A lot of other comic people are going to be there, including Art Baltazar and my buddy Scoot McMahon. So we'll all be there. Our buddy Dave Scheid will be there as well. But I'm pretty certain Seeley's going to be there. I'm pretty certain Norton's going to be there. But so Philip's going to be at WarriorCon at Maine West on Saturday. And then on Sunday, he'll be at Art and Franco's store, Oh Yeah Comics in Skokie, Illinois. So it's a big Chicago weekend for Philip. And then, we'll come back next week before Thanksgiving. And
back in the day, when I was in college, I always assumed I would end up in Chicago. Something about Chicago just drew me in. I just love that town. It didn't work out that way, but I still love that town, man. So it'll be fun to get back there.
I'm glad you hang out as much as you do when you come to town. And absolutely, man, looking forward to seeing you this weekend. And we'll talk next week. So everyone who we didn't get to as far as questions and stuff, don't worry. We'll come back next week. And Philip's got a big announcement that he will share with all of us. And we'll look forward to that. So thanks for playing tonight. And we'll have a nice pre-Thanksgiving conversation with Philip Kennedy Johnson next week. Good to talk to you, dude.
You too, brother.
Everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Tomorrow night, The Strange Love of Martha Ivers is a fantastic noir movie that I'll be discussing with Gabe Hardman on Scene Missing. And then on Thursday, Lansing and Kelly are back because they're killing it on Star Trek. Hey, John's going to talk about Star Trek. There's something new. The Last Starship from IDW. Great story. Kirk is back. They resurrect Kirk. Why? We'll discuss more with Lansing and Kelly. That'll be Thursday. So a nice week here on Word Balloon Live. Join us then. Until next time, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.